Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this one I want to talk about something that helped me as I was quitting drinking. And now maybe you've heard of people starting morning routines, and it was a huge, or still is kind of a huge thing. It's become super popular, kind of a fad, and I fell for it and I really enjoy it. So I'm going to share my morning routine and what works for me. Now, having a morning routine is important because it really sets the tone for the day. In my opinion, I feel like your morning is the most important part of the day. If you were like me, I used to wake up at as late as I could, in terms of like, okay, if I had to be at work at this time, I can sleep all the way until this time. And usually I found myself just rushing out the door, rushing to work, upset in traffic, and it just set a horrible tone for the day. And when I started days like this, I was in a negative headspace throughout the day. And so, when I came across these morning routines, I dove deep into them. And so, first thing I do is I wake up and I try to think of something that I'm grateful for. And this helped me flip my negative mindset, because like I said, I would wake up and just kind of be pissed off, more or less. Didn't want to go to work, wasn't happy with the life I was living. And so I just woke up and I was just like, man, fuck this. So getting in the mindset of being grateful for something that you have, just list a few things. It could be, I'm grateful that I slept well last night. I'm grateful that I have a comfortable bed and a roof over my head. Something simple. 2 is either a cold shower or a cold plunge. Now I know some of you probably don't like cold water so much. I didn't either, but I've grown to love it. And it's a good substitute for caffeine if you're always dependent on caffeine to kind of wake you up. Trust me. Cold shower, anywhere from a minute to 3 minutes, will do the trick. Now after a while, honestly for me, it wasn't cold enough. So I got a cold plunge. I made one out of a chest freezer that I bought on Best Buy. It's in my garage, and I have it at 46, 48 degrees. And honestly, that's my favorite part of the morning. Waking up, getting in that thing, sitting up to my neck, put my face in for 3 minutes. And man, that does more than coffee will ever do. And it's a clean wake up, and your blood's flowing, your heart's pumping. And that, for me, that really sets the tone for the day. It's cold, but man, it feels so good. And coffee, honestly, caffeine wasn't doing it for me anymore. I would have a cup of coffee, maybe 2 or 3, and the energy spike that I craved or that I needed was no longer there. And honestly, I just started getting these pains in my stomach, and it started kind of like this stinging feeling, and it wasn't enjoyable. So the cold water thing, cold shower, cold plunge, if you're able to, man, life-changing. It truly is. Then I'll do some meditation. And meditating, everyone has their opinion on it. Certain ways to do it. You could do it laying down, sitting up. Sometimes I'll do it laying down. Sometimes that's the first thing I do in the morning, is I'll meditate in bed, laying down. I used to do guided meditations, and sometimes I still do. Or just with some music. Lately, I've been doing just silent meditation. And the reason for this is I found that having music or doing a guided meditation was sort of a distraction from what I thought meditating should be for me. It might be different for you. But I felt like it was a distraction of the thoughts coursing through my mind. Which you may think, oh, isn't that the point of meditation? It depends on who you ask. I feel like it's it's for me, meditation has come to a point where it's like I don't want to suppress any of my thoughts, any of my feelings, but I want to observe them and see kind of where my mind's at. And doing this in the morning helps me kind of calm my mind. I'll do some visualization of how I would like my day to go. And doing this in the morning really brings a sense of calmness, a sense of awareness in me. And I'm not just like super scatterbrained, rushing out the door, with no plan per se in my head of how I'd like the day to go. So meditation, try it. And, it's something foreign to a lot of us, most of us. It was foreign to me, and I was always like in this headspace of, oh, meditation is this, and it has to be that. That's not the case. It's super simple. If you're trying to meditate, you're meditating. If your mind's racing all over the place, that's okay. You're meditating. Your mind doesn't go quiet. I mean, you might have moments of stillness and quietness, but for the most part, you're going to have thoughts coursing through your mind. And a few techniques that you can try that are super simple and that have helped me out quite a bit is, one, I picture, like let's say I have a thought, or thoughts popping up a lot. And I just picture them kind of popping out of my head, and like with a broom, just kind of brushing them away. And that helps. I know it sounds maybe kind of weird or whatever, but try it. It actually, what it allows you to do is it allows you to observe the thought coming out of your head, and then you just kind of effortlessly sweep it away. And that's super helpful. Or another technique that I found super helpful is picture yourself sitting on a bench in a park. And when you're in a park sitting, you see birds flying by, maybe dogs running by, squirrels, or you see people walking or jogging by. And you don't really think too much of it. You notice it, and then you're kind of off to something else. And so if you do this in your meditation, but imagine the people walking by or the birds flying by, your thoughts. Recognize them and let them go. You can also try this candle method that I thought was quite nice. And, just get a candle and kind of hopefully put it at eye level so you can see the flame. And just stare at the flame. See how long you can stare at the flame without thoughts creeping in your head. You kind of just concentrate and zone in on that flame, and it really helps you kind of center your attention on one thing. And that way, if you struggle with your mind's, scattering all over the place with thoughts, that'll help. Try it. And like I said, if you're trying to meditate, you're doing it right. Don't put so much pressure on it. It's all good. Another thing that I do is I do some sort of breath work. And I'm really into the Wim Hof breathing, which is basically a series of breaths followed with a long breath hold. And I find this to be very calming too, right after meditation. It gets the blood flowing. You do about 30 inhales and exhales, pretty strong, and then on the last one, you let everything out and hold your breath. And hold your breath as long as you can. And you'll see your mind focus on your body, what your body's doing, how it's reacting. Where's your mind go? The blood and energy is flowing, coursing through your body. It's a really nice practice as well. There's other techniques, but right now that is my favorite one. I'll also do a little bit of reading, nothing crazy. I have a book that's called The Daily Stoic, and it's just each day they're dated, and it has a little excerpt from either Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and I've really become quite fond of Stoicism, and it's basically the practice of just being. Not being super high, not being super low, just taking life as it comes, as it is. Because the higher the highs, the lower the lows. And it kind of teaches you just to be okay with everything. Accept the good and the bad equally. And it kind of, it's really helpful if my mind is somewhere where it's like, man, I want this to happen. I need this to happen in a certain way. And it kind of helps me reframe life in general, but even that little particular scenario. And I'll cap it off with going to the gym. And it's either I'm lifting weights or doing yoga or some sort of cardio every day. And that's just to keep my body going, staying focused, staying limber. As you get older, it's easy to stiffen up, and I've had more injuries than I care to mention. And so if I don't stay active, like, I feel my body kind of just stiffening up. And getting your workout done early in the morning. I'm usually in the gym by 6 or 7. And just getting that out of the way, it's a really good feeling. You can feel a little bit more swollen, your muscles are tense, and you feel good, and it helps you power through the day. Sometimes I'll do workouts in the evening, but I try to do it in the morning because by the time, nighttime, evening rolls around, it's kind of hard. There are some classes that I'll go to in the evenings, my wife and I will go to, but for the most part, I try to do it in the morning. So guys, I hope it was helpful. I will say, if you're new to a morning routine, start small, start with something simple. Don't try to add all these things at once, because it won't work. It won't stick. You'll skip days. Some days you'll do something, some days you won't do most of them. So try just adding a cold shower. And I said a minute to 3 minutes. Do as long as you can and slowly work your way up. And then once that becomes ingrained in your morning, maybe add meditation. Or maybe you just do meditation only. It's important, what works for me isn't necessarily gonna work for you. So find a routine and build a routine that's gonna be best for you. Only you will know how that looks. But give it a try. It really sets a tone for your day. So guys, appreciate you stopping by. I hope you found this video helpful. Tell me what your morning routine is. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Share this video if you know someone that might benefit from it. And we'll see you next time. Take care.